Experts say Vladimir Putin is overseeing a mafia state as his opponents mysteriously disappear. Russian oligarchs, generals and other high-profile figures have been taken out by Russian President Vladimir Putin as he tries to quash opposition to his invasion of Ukraine, experts claim. For years, Putin has been challenged by only a handful of opponents, allowing him to enjoy complete control over Russia. But after Russia's invasion of Ukraine got off to a disastrous start in the first half of 2022, ultranationalist figures began expressing their frustration. Opponents of the war also challenged the Kremlin. Now, The Sun reports that 39 members of the Russian elite have mysteriously died or gone missing. One example is Sergei Grishin, known as Scarface, and the oligarch who sold his Californian mansion to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. He died recently from sepsis after criticizing Putin. Grishin once asked former President Donald Trump for help, saying, "I want to be safe. I am kind of under fire right now by the criminal world of Russia." By the top government officials of Russia, too. Another man to suffer an unfortunate fate was Russian scientist Andrei Bodakov, who created the Sputnik V vaccine. He was strangled with a belt in his apartment last week. John Sweet, a retired U.S. Army military intelligence officer, and Mark Toth, a national security analyst, both told The Sun that Putin is killing his opponents or anyone he deems a threat to his power. They compared Putin's violent streak to a modern-day FSB version of Murder Incorporated. Murder Incorporated was an organized crime group in the U.S. that was accused of killing 1,000 people in the 1930s. Mr. Sweet said, "Anyone seen as a potential threat seems to have an attraction to an open window." Meanwhile, Professor Anthony Glees, an intelligence expert from the University of Buckingham, added that the murder of Putin's enemies is just course of conduct for the Russian president. He added, "There are two kinds of." The big question for analysts is whether these killings are political murders of political opponents who might be plotting to get rid of Putin, or mafia killings designed to encourage those who have taken Putin's gold not to stray, to understand that they were given shed loads of money which actually belongs not to Putin but the people of Russia to do as Putin orders, not to spend on themselves. In my opinion, the two things are the same. Russia under Putin has become a state where political opponents can and will be killed, and Russia under Putin is a mafia state, a network of foul criminals who believe that if they don't hang together, they will ultimately hang separately. Death is always there to remind Putin's cronies of their duties. The death of Colonel Vadim Boyko, one of Putin's cronies, also baffled Russia watchers. Boyko was found dead in his apartment last November. He had multiple bullet wounds when a junior officer found him at the Makarov Pacific Higher Naval School in the eastern city of Vladivostok. Pavel Antov and his friend Vladimir Budanov died just days apart in the same Indian hotel last year. Local lawmaker Antov had criticized the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Security analyst Mr. Toth discussed the soaring number of deaths among the Russian elite since the start of 2022. He said, "The Kremlin, absolutely, is the connective tissue behind Putin's modern-day FSB version of murder, Inc. when it comes to the propensity for Russia's elite falling out of windows, conveniently dying of heart attacks, or committing suicide. We can't know exactly how many, but most of these deaths are not people dying from natural causes or self-harm. Lightning can strike twice in the same place, but in Russia, it has struck upwards of 35 times. Why are we sure it is the FSB? Because while there is nothing quiet about the manner in which Russia's scientists, key bureaucrats, oligarchs, and generals are dying, once disposed of, their caste